AITA for not backing my wife up when our son says she's no longer his mother? Hey Reddit, I'm honestly at the end of my rope here. I don't even know where to start with this whole mess. But I guess the best place to begin is the moment I realized that my marriage might be completely over. I've been holding back from sharing this, but at this point I'm tired of being painted as the bad guy. I need an outside perspective because the people around us, her friends mainly, seem convinced I'm the asshole here. So, here goes. TLDR. My wife told me she regretted marrying me and wished she'd gotten an abortion when she was pregnant with our son. He overheard and told her that she wasn't his mother anymore. Now she wants me to make him talk to her again, but I don't think it's my place. AITA? My wife, Jane, and I met in college. Back then, she was this driven, ambitious girl who had her whole life planned out. She was majoring in finance and had dreams of working on Wall Street, while I was a philosophy major with dreams of, well, honestly, I didn't really have a clear goal at the time. But Jane was something else. She had this energy about her, and she brought out the best in me. We started dating our junior year, and by the time we graduated, I knew she was the one I wanted to spend my life with. We got engaged when I was 23 and she was 22. People said we were too young, but at the time, it felt right. We didn't rush into marriage, though. We waited a few years, saved up some money, and eventually tied the knot when I was 26 and she was 25. I thought we were solid. We had our fair share of arguments, but nothing too major. Honestly, I thought we were happy. Then, a year after our wedding, Jane got pregnant. It wasn't planned, but it wasn't unwelcome either, at least for me. I was over the moon when she told me. I remember sitting there on the couch, watching TV when she just blurted it out. I'm pregnant. I was stunned for a second, then excited. I told her that whatever she wanted to do, I'd support her. If she wanted to wait, if she wasn't ready, that was fine with me. But she decided to keep the baby, and I was all in. But that's when things started to change. Pregnancy wasn't easy for Jane. I get that. It's not like I expected her to be glowing and happy every day. I did my best to help her out, make her comfortable, and reassure her that we were in this together. But she was distant, moody, and just not herself. I chalked it up to hormones and figured that once the baby came, things would settle down. Spoiler alert, they didn't. When Jack was born, it was like a switch flipped for me. I loved that kid from the moment I laid eyes on him. He was perfect. Jane, on the other hand, didn't seem to feel the same. She was tired, frustrated, and seemed disconnected from both me and Jack. She was diagnosed with postpartum depression, PPD, which I understood, at least as much as a guy can. I encouraged her to seek therapy, to talk to someone, but she refused. She insisted that she didn't need help, that she'd get over it on her own. But she never did. The first couple of years after Jack was born were brutal. I was doing everything, working full-time, taking care of Jack, paying all the bills, and trying to keep our marriage afloat. Jane didn't want to go back to work, even though I told her it was an option. We didn't have to worry about housing costs because we lived in a second home that my aunt and uncle owned, so we could afford a nanny if she wanted to go back to her career. But she chose to stay at home, except she wasn't really staying at home. She wasn't doing much of anything. She'd stay in bed most days, claiming she was too tired to get up. I'd come home from work, exhausted, and have to take care of Jack because she couldn't or wouldn't do it. I felt like a single parent, even though I was married. I tried to be patient. I really did. I understood that PPD was serious, and I wanted to support her. But after 2 years of this, 2 years of her refusing to get help and leaving me to do everything, I started to resent her. We fought constantly. I told her that I couldn't keep doing this, that something had to change. She needed to get help or go back to work or something, anything to contribute. But she wouldn't listen. Finally, I gave her an ultimatum. Either she got help or I was done. She ended up going back to work, but not in the career she had trained for in college. Instead of pursuing finance like she'd always dreamed of, she took a job at a local cigarette shop. At that point, I was so emotionally checked out that I didn't even care. At least it was something. By the time Jack was 5, our marriage was basically dead. We weren't intimate anymore. We barely talked unless it was about Jack. We were like roommates who happened to share a child. I tried to keep things civil for Jack's sake, but it was hard. He was starting to notice the tension between us, and I didn't want him growing up in a toxic environment. Despite everything, Jack turned out to be a great kid. He was smart, independent, and intuitive. He could tell that something was off between me and Jane, even when we tried to hide it. He started to pull away from her, preferring to spend time with me or his friends. Jane noticed, but she didn't seem to care enough to do anything about it. As the years went on, things just got worse. Jack and Jane never really bonded the way a mother and son should. I think it was partly because of how she acted when he was a baby, but also because she just wasn't present. Jack relied on me for everything, and Jane became more of a stranger to him. Fast forward to last year. Jack was 16, and we were gearing up for his senior year of high school. He was excited about college, and I was proud of the young man he had become. Jane and I were still living in this limbo of a marriage, just waiting for the day when Jack would leave for college, so we could finally pull the plug on this whole thing. A few months ago, Jane and I got into one of our many arguments. It started out like all the others. Me telling her that I was done, that as soon as Jack went to college, I was filing for divorce. She called me worthless, said I'd never been a good husband, and then dropped the bomb. She regretted ever marrying me, regretted getting pregnant, and wished she had gotten an abortion when she had the chance. I don't know if she thought Jack wouldn't hear her, but he did. He was standing in the hallway, and the moment those words came out of her mouth, he stepped into the room and said, "Fine, have it your way. You're not my mother anymore. Go fuck yourself." Then he stormed out. Jane was shocked. I mean, I was too, but at the same time, I couldn't really blame him. What kind of parent says that about their kid? If my mom ever said something like that about me, I'd probably react the same way. Jack hasn't spoken to Jane since. It's been almost 2 months now, and he avoids her like the plague. He's a smart kid. He's got a part-time job, his own car, and he buys whatever he needs. If he needs help with anything, he comes to me. But as far as he's concerned, Jane doesn't exist. Now, Jane is pissed at me because I won't make Jack talk to her. She keeps telling me that I need to step in and repair their relationship. But honestly, I don't think that's my job. Jack is almost 18. He's old enough to make his own decisions, and if he doesn't want to have a relationship with his mother, that's his choice. I'm not going to force him to forgive her, especially after what she said. I told Jane that we're done, that I'm leaving once Jack goes to college. She knows it's over, but now she's acting like it's my fault that Jack won't talk to her. I told her that maybe she shouldn't have said what she said if she wasn't ready to deal with the consequences. Of course, her friends are all on her side. They've been harassing me, saying I'm a terrible husband and that I should have backed her up when Jack said she wasn't his mother anymore. But why should I? She said some awful things, and now she's facing the fallout. It's not my job to fix this. I don't know, Reddit. Am I the asshole for not stepping in and making Jack talk to her? Update. First off, thanks to everyone who took the time to read my post and share their thoughts. I didn't expect to get so many responses, and I appreciate the support and even the tough love that many of you gave me. A lot of you asked for more context about Jane's side of things, and I've been thinking about it a lot over the past few days. To be honest, I don't know if Jane ever really wanted to be a mom. I think she got swept up in the idea of it when she first got pregnant, but once Jack was born, reality hit her hard. The postpartum depression played a huge role in all of this, and I wish she had gotten the help she needed back then. I tried to be supportive, but I realize now that there were things happening beneath the surface that I couldn't fix on my own. It's not like Jane was always a bad mom. There were times when she tried. She'd cook dinner, help Jack with his homework, and even take him out for ice cream sometimes. But those moments were rare. Most of the time, she was distant, wrapped up in her own struggles, and Jack picked up on that. Since my original post, Jane has been trying to reach out to Jack. She's apologized a few times, but Jack isn't ready to hear it. I've told her that it's going to take time, and she can't force him to forgive her. She seems to understand that now, but it doesn't make things any easier. As for me, I'm still planning on leaving once Jack goes to college. This marriage has been dead for a long time, and I don't see any point in dragging it out. Jack is my priority right now, and I want to make sure he's okay before I make any big moves.